Hello everyone and welcome back to the vlog. In today's video we are visiting the North East Land, Sea and Air Museum, otherwise known as Nelsam. This museum is a major volunteer-led museum located at the former RAF Ulsworth and Sunderland Airport between Washington and Sunderland. It hosts over 30 aircrafts including a Cold War Avro Vulcan B-2 bomber, plus military vehicles and a simulation of a wartime street. So without further ado, let's get into this video and let's check this out. So I've arrived at the museum and currently I'm just stood in the outdoor section. They've got a couple of planes on the grass. Check these out. You've got one there, massive, and you've got two over here in the corner. Oh, and one in this side as well. So we're gonna go check these out. These are absolutely huge. Take a look at these. I've never actually been here before. This is my first time. I knew it was here, but I've never visited. So we're gonna check it out and see what it's like. I paid $7.50 to get in, which is not too bad. But we'll see if this museum is worth the money. Take a look at that, man. How incredible is that? Let's go over to the other side. It's actually mad seeing these in person. You don't realise how big they are when you're up close. Look at the size of this one, man. That's crazy. Let's go and check this one out over here. This one's a little bit smaller by the looks of it. But still impressive. Right, we're gonna get inside now and check out what it's like on the inside. So let's go. Right, so we're inside now and just check this place out. Look at this. The Westland the Esland SA341G Gazelle. Check that out. Not much room to move inside there, like, but how mint is that? And you've got these over here, the Vulcan B-2. This one, which you can sit in, Beagle B206. Now if I can fit in here, it's quite small, like, to be honest. This is how much room you've got. But I'm going to try and get in and have a little look. I might have to take my bag off to be able to fit in here. We'll just leave it there. Let's get in. Oh yes, it's very, very tight. Look at how tight this is. Not much room at all. But how class is this? Look, you've got all of these here. This is the to make it move. Got all of them and these. It is a tight squeeze, like. If you're tall, you'll struggle to get in here. But this is class. Here's the little latch where you can open the window. Yeah, this is crazy. Check this out. Pedals there. Don't know if you can see, it's quite dark. But how class is that? Let's head on to the next one. Oh, that is a tight squeeze. You've also got this that you can sit in. I have no idea what the name of this one is, but take a look. That's a little bit bigger, so you've got more room to get into that one. Going on to the big one now, this beast, which you can go in as well. There's the windows. This is the door. And here's the steps. So let's get in. Why, this is like a proper plane. There's the exit door. Tent here. There's your seat. I'm guessing this is where this is where you'll keep your luggage, which is not very big, to be honest. That is it like. This is how airplanes were back in the day. There's the cockpit. Check that out. Now this door to the cockpit is sealed off. But check that out. Oh, how cool is that? I can't believe I've actually never been here. So far, this place has been class. I mean, I'm literally sitting inside a plane. It's a shame I'm not going anywhere though, innit? But just have a look at this. You have on planes nowadays, if not more. You got your little tray what comes down, handy. Oh god, that doesn't look good, does it? Blood on the window. Maybe that's just part of the experience. I'm guessing this little room that we came into is meant to be the toilet. In here, very small, but how class is that? Take one more look. Right, let's head out and see what else we can see. So I'll catch up with you in a little bit. So across the other side, you've got the Westland S51, which I'm guessing is this one. Then you've got the Bristol Sycamore, which must be this. Then you've got this one, this one, this one. So many different aeroplanes. This place is absolutely huge. So if you live in the Washington area, I definitely recommend visiting this museum. And the price you pay to get in, I'm not so sure about the price you pay to get in. I think it all goes to charity. I think, that might not be right, but I think it does. But just check this out, it's absolutely massive. If you're interested in planes, definitely worth a visit. Anyways, let's move on to the next section. Come with me. Check out all of these. You don't actually realise how big they are until you're standing near them. Amazing. Check this place out. Brook Bond Tea. Let's have a little look through there. How mad is that? The life is firm thanks to the merchant navy. Got an old bike there. Some old signs. Suffolk Street. The Heinkel came crashing down on Suffolk Street in Hendon, destroying a house and shop and badly damaging 2 other properties. The fuel from the wing tanks exploded into flames, causing intense fires at both the front and the back of the building. Daniel and Florence Spence and their 16-year-old daughter Joan had ignored the air raid warning and were in bed when the plane hit their house. Rushing downstairs and finding their kitchen was now a mass of flames. They were able to make their escape through the shattered remains of the shop front. Less fortunate were the storefront family, John and Rachel, and their 15-year-old daughter Jean. They had taken cover in the brick area shelter built in the yard of their home at Suffolk Street, and were now trapped by debris in the burning wreckage. How mad is that? So this must be Suffolk Street, and there's just some pictures showing you what it was like. And this must be like what it looked like before all of that happened. Which is crazy to think about, that a plane hit the house. Nuts. And it just keeps on going as well through there. This must be like storage or something, I have no idea. Or police maybe. This must be one of the air raid shelters. Yeah, it is. Air raid shelters were structures used for protection of people against enemy attacks from the air. Air raid shelters during World War II came in many different forms. People used cellars, underground tube stations, tunnels and communal concrete shelters, as well as Anderson and Morrison shelters during air raids. So this is what it would have been like. If you can see in there, not much room. But still, I think this is where people had to go when it got serious and when the bombings happened. Crazy. Imagine having to go to one of them. How mad that would be. How scary for people it would be as well. It's just nuts to think of. So in this section you've got the general dealer, which is, I'm guessing, where people went for all the food and supplies during the war, even though they couldn't get much. The Ministry of Food managed to get spam, tin spiced ham, dried eggs and dried milk in large quantities from the USA. The egg powder made rubbery omelettes and puddings, but became, if not popular, at least remembered with affection. From 1942, 1 packet per person of dried egg, equivalent to 12 eggs, which was distributed every other month. The slaughtering of many dairy herds to grow food also meant that dried milk was important. To help people cope with these, there were leaflets, books, posters and radio broadcasts. As the war went on, bread became in short supply. Queues would form outside shops very early in the morning, because even if people had coupons, there was no guarantee that shops would have sufficient bread for everybody. Rumours would circulate that a certain shop was expecting a supply of butter or meat, and immediately women would form a queue outside that shop. Many shops opened for only 2 or 3 days a week because of food shortages. Imagine that. Queues going down the streets outside the shops, and still there's no guarantee that you're going to get fed. Crazy. This is all the stuff that you could get but probably wouldn't. You've also got these little kids. Here's a letter, what they wrote. My name is Tom. I am 10 years old. Don't know if I can read the rest of that. Yeah. Can't read it. Obviously it's meant to replicate children's handwriting back in the day. I think it says something about, yeah, my name is Tom, I am 10 years old. When I am going to join the army, like me da. Yeah, that's what it says. I got there in the end. So he was 10 years old when he went to join the army, following in his dad's footsteps. Crazy. On this sign it says, Hitler will send no warning, so always carry your mask. And then you've got a baby with one on there. And a couple of other gas masks here. This is nuts. Check through this window. There you've got a soldier. I never actually thought this place would be this big and have this much in it, but it's kind of like hidden away. So I class it as a hidden gem because this place is actually mint. And here you have high street fashion, which I'm guessing is where people went to get the clothes. Clothes rationing began on the 1st of June 1941 as textile factories switched to war work, making parachutes and soldiers' uniforms instead. People were given a clothes ration book, which gave them 60 coupons for a whole year, and children an extra 10 to allow for growing. Each page of coupons in the book was a different colour to stop people using up all their coupons at once. As the war progressed, the allowance was reduced. In 1942 it was cut to 48, 1943 to 36, and 1945 to 24. How mad is that? Let's carry on into the next section. This one is one of my favourite by far that I've seen while I've been in here. Just shows you and tells you what life would be like, and it's very informative. Loads of information, actually more than I expected, to be honest. You've got there on that little booklet the protection of your home against air raids, evacuation, why and how, civil defence, World War 1939. This place is nuts. Got a war uniform there. And then, when you come to this door, I opened it the first time and I got quite a shock because I didn't realise that there was a bloke sitting inside there on the toilet reading the newspaper. But that is what the toilets were like as well. And I think most of them were outdoors. Not much room. At least you get your privacy though with this door. But yeah, anyways, let's move on to the next section. This must be the living room. So we've came into the next section, which is Romney Building 1. More airplanes Few helicopters. Let's check this one out. The Westland Dragonfly. And then you've got the Royal Navy Rescue helicopter. That is absolutely massive. Westland Whirlwind. I mean, just look at that one. Don't know if you can see much in there, but this is what the rescue helicopters are like. Got this one, Sea Venom. That looks class. See if we can extend it and look into the cockpit. Now the weather's nice. When I was in the first section indoors, obviously I didn't know what it was like, and I came outside and it's really sunny. It's gotten very warm while I've been in there. The wind there's still a bit of wind, but the weather is amazing. So that's another good thing. Check this out. Ship. And you've got the Royal Navy XJ680, I'm guessing that's called. Here it is, back in the day. 1984, that picture. Fitting of the panels in 1987. Sealing of the pod, 1986. This is all the work getting done on it through the years. Final paint work applied, 1988. And this is the finished product, right here. Amazing. This one's not very big. There's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 models in here. But hopefully the next one we're going to go to, which I think is across or either to the left of us, hopefully that one's a little bit bigger. Let's go check it out. See, look how bright it is. What a beautiful day. Got this over here as well, as you come out the door. The XE620. Yeah, there's a door here, and then there's one more door there to go through. No, I think that is where it ends. Let's go in this door and have a little look. Civil Transport Collection. So, I'm guessing this is the Nissan section, because you've got all these cars lined up, going all the way to the bottom, and then the Nissan sign there. Producing up to 2,000 cars a day in Sunderland. The Nissan plant is the UK's biggest car production plant, with over 11 million cars have been produced, and total investment made is over 3.5 billion. Nuts. This is where it tells you the years different things and different cars were built. 1985, November. Sir Robert McAlpine's start of the factory construction. 1986. Production begins as first Nissan Bluebird rolls off the production line. Check that out. The first ever car to come out of Nissan. 1988, employment now rises to 1,300 workers. The plant begins shipping left-hand cars to 9 European countries. 1990, after producing 100,000 Bluebirds, production of the replacement Primera now begins, which is this. January 1985, construction underway. April, a single union agreement is reached with the engineering union. The first 22 supervisors are recruited. Christmas Eve 1995, after a record-breaking 62-week construction schedule, contractor hands over to the factory to Nissan. Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher officially opens the factory with the hope that the plant will provide a steadily growing number of jobs in an area that really needs them. And it did. So that worked. 1992, Nissan announces increased investment of 200 million, bringing the total investment in the Sunderland plant to a European record-breaking 900 million. Production of Nissan Micra begins, with the two models at the plant now being made simultaneously. So there's a bit of information about the start of Nissan, which is now massive and offering many jobs to the people in the area, which is great. There is the Micra. I think. I'm not too sure if that's what it looks like now. Correct us if I'm wrong. There is the Duke. So much information on each section. I didn't expect there to be this much information, but it really does tell you a lot. So you're very well informed when you come into this section, every section of this museum. I can't believe, I said it before, I can't believe I've never been here. Now that I'm coming towards the end, I realised how good this place actually is, but how hidden it is as well. But yeah, what a place. So much to see, so much information about every different bit, and it really is pretty cheap for what you get, in my opinion. We've got all the different years on this one as well. 1993, 1997, 2002, 1995, 2004, 2005, 2000, 2001. There's the Qashqai. And then you've got this Tram, Pleasure Beach, Blackpool Balloons 721. In 1935, 14 fully closed double-deckers were built for Blackpool, designed to help modernise the tramcar fleet. The new trams were delivered out of sequence, and the very last to arrive was number 258, which had been held back in order to participate in a sales exhibition organised by its builders, English Electrics, to help showcase the very latest in tramcar development. It is absolutely huge. For a tram, that is massive. Don't know if you can see inside there, it's pretty dark. So yeah, we're at the front of the tram now. Show you, see if you can see on the inside. And you've got this yellow one beside us as well, which the window's actually open on this one. But yeah, I'm glad I decided to come here because it is very good. let's continue on. I think there's one more section that we haven't seen, and then I think that's the end. But I do think you can go in one of the trams up here. Yes, I believe you can. So I'm going to go in there, and then we'll head to the next unit and check out what's in there, which is the last unit. Let's have a look in here. Blackpool twin set 674 684. Feel free to sit in me. Let's have a little look. Wow, check this out. It's even got like that olden smell, which just adds to the feel, you know. You've got all the stops where the tram goes to along here. You've got Bisham, I think that's how you see it, not too sure. Cleverleys, Rossall Beach, Norbreck, Thornton Gate, Broadwater, Lingfield Road, Stanley Road, Ash Street, Fleetwood Ferry, Victoria Street. Let's have a little sit down, see what the seats are like. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. It's a decent size, there's tram and all. Let's go to the front. And this is where the operator would sit. Crazy. I'm not even going to try and get in there because look how tight that is. But I think there's even more stops on this side. There it is. Take a look at these. Southdown, Jubilee, Stargate, Harrowside, Pleasure Beach, Star Hotel, South Pier, Waterloo Road, Manchester Square, Central Pier, Central Station, Victoria Street, Pleasant Street. Loads. How class is that? As soon as you step on, you just get that feel that you've went back in time. And that is a feeling that you will probably cherish. So that's good.
I think it's a tram actually.
This is the outside. Metro coastlines. Read. So now that this one's done, we've got one more, the final section to have a look at, and then we'll be at the end. So let's go and check the last unit out and see what is in there. So here we are in the last section of the museum, starting off with this. An experimental gun produced in 1931 to evaluate the principles of squeeze or tapered bore. It is fitted to the carriage of a M1922 105mm L23 field gun, which was made for export. The box trail of the carriage was later used in the very successful 25LD field gun design. The squeeze bore concept was that a gun fired a shot similar to a modern sabot round. That is, a round that had a soft ring of material surrounding a hard sub-caliber shot. The difference was that in the taper bore gun, the soft outer ring was squeezed down by the barrel. Interesting. Got a motorbike here. Bombardier 252 stroke motorcycle. Armoured car, 76mm gun.
Is that the driver's seat?
In January 1946, the British Army issued a requirement for a new armoured car as a replacement for armoured cars developed during the Second World War. In 1947, a contract was awarded to the then Alvis Limited of Coventry. This is what it would have looked like. Interesting. You can also have a look inside there. And that is where you would be sitting, I'm guessing, or maybe on that one. Let's go around and have a look. This one has no doors, so you can see. Have a look at that. This is the tractor 4x4 Morris commercial, used in liberation of Europe. Some without the canvas cover were landed in Hamilcar gliders to provide the airborne forces with the capability to defend themselves against the German tanks. And now you've got the weight, length, width, height, suspension, all the information you need. How interesting. Here is another tank, which is where you would be sitting, I'm guessing, to fire the weapons. Crazy. Now, this place, the North East Land, Sea and Air Museum, known as Nelsam, actually sits on the former RAF Ullsworth and Sunderland airport site, next to the Sunderland Nissan factory, and compromises of the former aircraft museum, military vehicles collection, and the North East Electric Traction Trust, known as NEETT, and is also based on the site. Amongst our varied and unique exhibit is a Cold War Avro Vulcan B-2 bomber, which flew into the former airport to become the first Vulcan to go into the private collection. So that's a little information about the place that we are currently at. If you're in the area or you live in the area and you like this sort of thing, I definitely recommend coming down and checking it out, because it is quite cheap, only $7.50 for everything you get to see. It's cheap, and the money might go to charity, which I'm not too sure on, so do not take my word for that. But what a place, so much to see and so much information given out to you whilst you're on site. So yeah, if you like this sort of stuff, I definitely recommend you pop down and have a look, because it is well worth the money. Anyways, that's all of the units done. Everything we had to see, we've seen. So the exit's there, which has a shop and a tea room in. We're going to head through there, check that out, and then probably head to the exit. So let's get on with it. So that is the end of today's vlog. I just want to say I've got loads more videos coming in the future, lots of exciting stuff happening, so stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.